Good morning, everybody. I've got my coffee for a coffee date. That first sip always just makes me so happy and cozy inside. Anyhow, so today is Saturday morning, and I had another little episode this morning. Normally, when I wake up with my heart racing and whatnot, it's normally like in the middle of the night. That actually hasn't happened to me in a while. But it happened to me this morning at like 7 in the morning. I woke up and it was like I was super hot. Like I wasn't sweating my whole body, it was just the back of my neck. And I just felt like this heat, like internally. So I sat up in bed. I've got a really good ceiling fan. And anyway, I just sat there for a few seconds. My heart rate went all the way up to 127. I got up, went outside. I kind of walked my dog a little bit slowly, tried to listen to the birds. But yeah, it was pretty scary. Now, last night I went out with my friends. I don't really go out like partying or anything like that. That was back in the day. I'm already 42, so not into that anymore. But I did go out with a friend last night. We went to this little place here in Dothan. It's called the Cellar Door, and it's like a little bar lounge, really nice. It's not like a chaotic bar or nothing like that. And I had a glass and a half of a Prosecco. And then I was hungry because I don't like to, I hadn't eaten anything since like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So on my way home, it was 11 o'clock at night. And I got a quarter pounder with no bun. And that's what I ate. So maybe it was the heavy, I don't know. But I'm feeling better now. I'm just like a little down. You know how that goes. Anytime I have like one of those episodes, I just feel like down the rest of the day. But I do have some properties I have to show today, so I'm not gonna let that mess up my whole day. I'm gonna have a little bit of my coffee. I'm not even gonna have it all because I don't want to have a lot of caffeine. And then I'm just gonna get started with my day. Anyway, so that was what I wanted to tell you guys about this morning, but I really want to tell you guys about my trip to New York. I know I still haven't put together the pictures of the trip. I just haven't had a chance, but I promise you I will. I just don't want to spam you guys with a whole bunch of like pictures. I rather put together like a slideshow or something like that. But Mom and I had so much fun. We got to chat, to just spend time together, with no interruptions or anything like that. Just girl time. So I really appreciate that we got to spend that time together. We did go to a lot of like touristy places, which I've been to before, and so has she, but we went anyway. I had actually never been to the Empire State Building. No, actually, we didn't go to the Empire State Building. That's the only one we didn't go to, but I've been there before. But our itinerary was completely booked, like daily by times and everything. Like we had no time at all. Like literally, it was just from one place to another. And since I also had my business event, which is really why we went, but ended up staying those extra days. The first 2 days I had that event, so we didn't really have the days. But Cujo, what are you doing? He's getting his toy. So anyway, we went to the Statue of Liberty. We didn't go up the Statue of Liberty. We just took pictures downstairs, the scenery. We had to take a ferry there, so that was a nice experience. I got really hot because I'm telling you, this perimenopause is so much fun. When we loaded the ferry, they've got, the bottom area there, which is the main floor, and then they have stairs that takes you to the top where you can actually, get fresh air and you can see, the water. And that's really the experience I wanted. But I guess my perimenopause was like, no. I sat up there maybe 5 minutes, and then I started getting hot. My head felt hot. I was like, oh my God, I feel horrible. Like this heat, I can't take it. And my mom was fine, but she's already been over this season. So we ended up going downstairs because I told mom, I'm like, I'm going to pass out if I stay here. And then I was just like drinking an obscene amount of water just because I wanted to make sure I was hydrated. And mentally, I feel like if I'm drinking water, I'm going to be okay. I don't know. That's just my mind. But anyway, we did that. That was an amazing experience. We went to this beautiful restaurant called The View. It's in Times Square. It is an experience itself. It's a rotating restaurant. So the middle part of the restaurant where all the tables are, and you have to have a reservation to go there. It rotates all the time. So you get to see a different view of New York City as you're dining. That was amazing. The food was amazing. We went to this place called Vanderbilt, which it's like a glass building that they built. It's beautiful. You can actually see straight down. Kind of scary at first, but it's a beautiful experience. They've got the most breathtaking views. I recommend it to anybody that goes there. But yeah, that's called the Vanderbilt. And Vanderbilt Summit. I think that's what it's called. And anyway, we had pizza. We did a whole bus tour through New York that took us through Times Square, took us through China and Little Italy, just different areas. We walked Fifth Avenue, went into a few, high-end stores there. And then we also went to, what else did we do? Oh, we went to the train station, Central Station. Walked through there, went to Central Park, and I think that's pretty much it. Restaurants, pizza, bagels, which, oh my God, they were so good. But yeah, that's basically what we did. And then also we went to Chinatown on the last day. I think it was, no, the day before last. We went to Chinatown, walked around. That was crazy. Literally, like, you have just random men and women walking up to you asking you if you want to buy purses. And it's like a scary experience because, everybody's like looking around, the cops, sirens. And I was like, no, it was hot. It was packed. Would I go back there? No. We did have some really good egg rolls though. Super, super good. But anyway, all of that was fine and dandy. The only thing that wasn't the best was the traveling. We went through American Airlines, which was a learning experience. I have normally used them all the time, and I don't know what's happened, but our flight from here, we actually were supposed to leave Panama City Beach, Florida, flying into Charlotte, and then from Charlotte to LaGuardia. Our flight on the way there, we were like maybe 20 minutes into our flight, and our plane hit a vulture, skinned the plane, which was super scary. So the pilot made an announcement, hey, I think everything's okay, but we hit a vulture, so we've got to go back, and just to make sure, because it's, anything can happen. So ended up turning around, going back. So when we got there, we sat in that airport for 12 and a half hours. I was super stressed, even though I tried to like not get stressed out, but you know how that is. And I am a very impatient person. Then they finally got us on a plane to Charlotte. But when we got to Charlotte, there were no more flights. The last flight got delayed and canceled at the end. So they ended up getting us a hotel, and we stayed in Charlotte that night, which put us a day behind in our itinerary. So Anyway, so then the next day we get to New York. I got there super late. My work event was starting at 2 to register and all of that good stuff. I got there like around 1:30. I had to change in a hot bathroom, okay, and go to my business event. Super stressed. Um, then we had reserved at the DoubleTree in Times Square West, and that was another shit show, literally. I've left them a huge review and everything because I've always stayed at Hilton's. I've got the Hilton Honors membership and all of that good stuff. I've never had a bad experience with them. We get there, and the lobby is full of people. Like, I want to say a good 75, 70 people, just everybody everywhere. And we're like, oh my God, but we're thinking that it's people checking in and all that stuff. So finally we get checked in, we get to the room, and the AC is broken. It was 76 degrees in that room. Okay. And it wouldn't, I mean, we called, nobody. So what I did was I went downstairs, I spoke to somebody, and they're like, oh, we're going to send somebody up. So they sent a guy up there that, he said he was resetting the system. He reset it, nothing worked. I had to go back downstairs because it still wasn't working. And there was so many people in that lobby that it would take 20 minutes for you to get from the lobby to your room upstairs. I had to do that twice because they wouldn't answer the phone and the AC still wasn't working. Anyway, they brought us a fan, okay, because there were no more rooms. And they're like, well, the only thing we can do is give you half off of your trip, of your night. And I'm like, listen, this room is super hot. I'm not going to be able to sleep. I'm going to be sweating all night. Thank you for the fan, but it's not working. I said, this whole lobby situation that you guys have going on is crazy. So I'm like, can you guys refund us tomorrow if we leave? Oh, no, it's non-refundable. I'm like, look, I've got a Hilton Honors account. I've always stayed with you guys. Please look into my account and see what you can do. So finally, he's like, okay, yes, in the morning, we can go ahead and refund you, or we can move to a different room because we'll have a room in the morning. I'm like, no, absolutely not. I was ready to go to a different place. So fast forward to the morning. I go downstairs with luggage and everything ready to go. And I'm standing there with my mom, and I see the guy, and I go up to him, and I'm like, hey, we talked last night, you told us you could. He's like, I wasn't here last night. I'm like, oh my God, he looked just like you. And the guy goes and says, no, he was just my same skin color and had dreadlocks just like me. And I just looked at him like, is this guy like insinuating that I'm making a racial statement or something? Like, no. I didn't say anything. I was like, I just stayed quiet, and I looked at my mom, and she's like looked at me because like we were surprised that he would say something like that. But he let us, gave us a refund on the additional 5 nights that we were supposed to stay. Gave us half off that night, which in my opinion, we should have not had to pay anything. We were sweating the whole night. It was horrendous. After that, the rest of the days were good. Our new hotel, Knickerbocker, it's a 5-star hotel. Amazing. I mean, the treatment, the rooms, the amenities, everything since you stepped foot inside of the hotel was great. Fast forward, we had all that fun, everything. We are supposed to leave, coming back home, and our flights got delayed. We were at the airport for 10 hours. Okay? No, sorry. 5 hours and a half we were at the airport. Canceled our flight at the end, so we had to stay an extra night in New York. And of course the airline paid our hotel that night. We ended up staying in Queens, which there was nothing to eat around there. We had to go walking to find something, and it was like whatever, it was a burger. Next day, okay, we get back to the airlines and had to stay there another 10 hours because all the flights were delayed. So we got home that night around, well, not even home. We got to the airport in Destin, Florida, at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And we just ended up staying the night in Destin because we didn't want to drive 2 hours to get home. At that time, we were both like completely tired. So yeah, I promised you guys I would tell you guys all about my New York trip. You know, rocky first beginnings and endings, but you know what? I don't regret it. I would do it all over again because I had an amazing time with my mom. And that's what counts. Life is about moments, about enjoying the now, no matter what. You may not be where you think you want to be at the moment or have everything you want to have and think you need to have those things to be happy. But no, we need to, you know, and it took me a while to get here to this point to where there's a lot of things in my life that I don't want to be like this. Like, for example, you know, the house I'm living in right now, the AC went out. I'm not paying any rent here because, you know, my parents, we had bought this house to flip it, and we did some things. But anyway, I was supposed to be moving out, and then my two of my sons were living here too, and they ended up moving to their own place. So I am supposed to be moving to my own place as well, but the AC has gone out here at the house. And that is, I mean, it's hot as hell here. It's 80 degrees in the house right now. Okay, I'm sitting under a fan. I've got a window unit in the bedroom, so I'm not sleeping hot. I would die. But the rest of the house has no AC. And then, you know, until my parents get to fixing that or whatever, and I'm still living here, I've got to deal with the situation, which is not what, you know, my perfect living condition that I would like. But I am thankful that I have, you know, a place to be. Not paying any rent with this day and age. That's a blessing. But I have to be happy, you know. I choose to be happy and feel blessed and acknowledge those things and wake up with gratitude, you know. But yeah, you know, it and even dealing with the perimenopause and all of that, I choose to live my life. That's why last night I went out, because I never do, because I'm like, oh my God, the anxiety, it might, you know, I may feel. No, I'm gonna hit it head on, you know, and the day that is my time to go, I will go. But I'm not gonna let it lead my life or deter me from living and doing things that I want to do. But no matter what you're going through, believe me, there's a way out. You're the only one that can make a difference. Choose yourself, choose your happiness, choose your peace, and everything else will come with time, when it needs to happen, how God wants it to happen. That is my reflection for this morning, and I'm so glad we got to sit down and have this coffee date. Thank you guys so much. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna finish my coffee, and then I'm just gonna get my day started. But stay cool. Have an awesome weekend. Love you. Bye.